Okay, we're back here again for the final and deciding game of the semi-final, the World Championship 2017 between Goutham Jayaraman and David Eldar. The match is tied 2-2. However, after a couple of blowout games in Goutham's favour, he currently leads on spread. And so, according to the format of the tournament, he will go first in the deciding game. David's played pretty strongly so far. Last time we saw him on camera, he came in afterwards and asked if we'd missed anything. We mentioned Biotope, which he was beating himself up about, but actually, relatively speaking, I think that was easy to miss. So here we go. The two players are ready. David has the eye of the tiger and the hair of it as well. And we're off. Oh, he's got the killer stare. Wow.
I'm a little frightened watching it in the monitor.
Yeah, you don't want to get in the way of that.
Yeah, Goutham's rack cam is terrifying right now.
So, Goutham. ER.
Wow.
Oh, you mean fomium's not a word?
And David draws the first blank, but with a clunky rack.
Almost Optifoc.
Almost Optifoc, absolutely.
If you can just roll a bit out of the queue.
Yeah. Or Packfong.
Yeah.
You can turn over the queue.
Or
Oh, it'll be an interesting beginning on both sides.
Yeah. Few choices here. I mean, you could play long with Mimeo or Mammy. Foam, decent keep of MIE, but obviously scoring slightly less. It's not necessarily a massive. Yeah, he's played Mimeo. No, actually, Mimeo's a good play. Mimeo also simming top.
This is an interesting rack that David has. The only Q play is to drop the Q onto Mimeo for 11, but then you still have a pretty clunky rack for the next turn. So you're actually probably going to want to not play the Q and score a few extra points. And he's lining up Calf, which will score nicely under Mimeo.
Yeah.
It's the principle here is to remember is to don't panic about the Q. Especially if you're holding a blank, which will give you some flexibility with it, but don't automatically gravitate towards playing the Q in a situation like this.
I mean, playing Calf is also blocked Faultier, which had he played the Q off by itself and panicked would now be played. So, and Calf is nice as well. It doesn't allow any parallel plays across the top, so that triple letter score is safe. Right now, I mean, bearing in mind Goutham's play to date, he's going to be thinking about getting rid of FLU. Probably wouldn't just play Flu.
Mufti maybe?
Yeah.
Mufti keeping ALR.
He's got fur lined up, which is also not.
Yeah, there are good plays underneath, like FAUR or Turf keeping AIL. David has picked out more bad synergy in the PB combination. I think 4 would be the correct play here, and I would be surprised after 4 if we don't see a change from David.
Yeah, there'll be nothing productive to do with the Q. the board's not really going to be conducive to, say, even some sort of Q play or a Q bingo if you try and play off the B and the P. If you make a play, you sort of have to have a plan. Calf was good because it scored a bunch. And also, with the Q, that's going to be a problem. It restricted the board, slow down the game, to buy yourself some time to deal with the Q.
Yep, so Goutham picking fur, which is there or thereabouts with turf and 4, fractionally behind by about 1 point in valuation, but it's good enough. Yeah, quickly typing in this rack to Quackle, everything that's coming up is exchange.
There's literally no reasonable play available.
I mean, looking back at Goutham's play, the potential risk, he hasn't kept any hooks for anything he's created. And he's about to find that out again, because he now does he have a play? I mean, he's got Ferrier or something. He's barely capable of playing a move this time. Yeah. Whereas playing FAUR, he kept the T to hook, at least.
Yeah.
So David's got into the bag, changed BQ, which is the top simming exchange, definitely the best play.
Yeah, and it illustrates really well in the beginning of the game, especially if you start out with a bad rack with some clunk, some dreck, then it's making a tight board that it's difficult to play on can often buy you a turn because there's just so few options. Your opponent may not have options to score or options to play at all. By the board being so tight, Goutham has had to exchange rather than play through a rack that could be really not that difficult to play through, and basically David got a free turn to exchange BQ and now is drawn into a bonus.
The only worthwhile, well, there are a couple of actual plays that Goutham had, but by far the best would have been Kafila off the KAF, keeping TAIT, but in actual fact the change was the right thing to do. I mean, his change is figuring up there among the others. David obviously now has Piteous and 2Ps. And he's played Piteous. Yeah, not a lot of choice there really. Piteous just frustrating the access to the triple word score in the middle. There were only 2 bingos playable, 2Ps and Piteous.
Wait a moment.
He's changing it to...
And he's changing it to 2Ps.
He may yet change it back.
Yes.
Why would he change it to 2Ps? So he changed it to 2Ps because he doesn't want to leave a decent floater on the double-double. He's assuming that his opponent hasn't kept a Y because he's changed going for a bingo rack. Or maybe he just knows that I'd already typed Piteous in.
No, I don't think he wants to play to be Piteous.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is true, yes.
Yes. It's that telepathic connection to Quackle again. He saw you enter the move and was like, no, wait. Take it back. He didn't.
You can tell a bit by the way that David is playing and the way that he's putting the tiles on the board. They kind of flew all over a little bit. You can tell that he's a bit nervous.
It's very intense.
He's nervous or
very
or energized.
Both,
I mean,
energized,
energized and nervous. Yes, all at the same time.
He's got a lot of adrenaline rushing through at the the gravity of this moment. He's one game away from playing in the finals of the World Championship.
And as much as David tries to keep a cool head, I've seen his posts on Facebook. This means a lot to him. He's certainly the strongest player not to have yet won the World Championship, in my opinion. Well, he's the world number 2. So he's picked a decent rack. I mean, the key thing now, and I guess what's hit him in the previous game that we saw is that he was really struggling to keep a balance. You can control a balanced rack. It's when you start having to panic play. Goutham plays Wob, which is the consistent highest simming move, just ahead of Tor actually in the same place, which obviously has a benefit in that it undoubles the T's.
Yeah, having a doubled consonant like that is obviously a bad thing, but there's a certain quantifiable amount that it's bad. With keeping the B with that lead versus the double T, according to Quackle, they're pretty closely commensurate with the difference in score. It's a lot of times players, they'll sacrifice quite a bit to undouble letters, and sometimes sacrifice too much to undouble letters.
Yeah. In this situation as well, you look at the board. Okay, well he's picked out litotes and toilets, which doesn't play currently. And actually, yeah, there are no. That's interesting. But no, I mean, looking at the keeping TT EO versus BOTE, the only floater on the board as well is a P. As I said earlier on, the negative synergy between B and P is fairly significant. So I think he made the right play there. Plus, it scores the most. Crackle immediately decided that Effa was a great play down from J2, but then realised its error. Currently, it's favouring the defensive play of Vane at G2 down. I've got to say, it's a good move. It kills slots. In this situation, it doesn't give, and David's got it lined up, it doesn't give any openings. David's not to know, but obviously Goutham has a good rack. While he's playing aggressively, I think control is an important thing to do. Now he's looking at have as well in the same place, possibly. But I think PEH, I mean, it's a strong keep. It's a good scoring keep.
Yeah, if you have an H and you have it with a tile that has synergy with the H, that can be really strong because it scores so well.
Yeah.
A few different options that Dave is looking at.
Interestingly, even with the inference that we know that Goutham has toilets, the win percentage of Vane is barely changing.
This board is very quickly to be quite difficult. It's the sort of thing that isn't going to last. At some point, the bottom half of the board is going to get developed. But in the meantime, at least, as much as David can try to build up a lead and frustrate Goutham's attempts to do things with 1-point tiles, it'll work. It's the sort of thing where you grab onto the board and you try and keep it closed, and a play like Vane is going to be a really good example of that. The upper left corner is going to be mostly useless space at that point.
Looks like he was just seriously considering Pav, but I think there's no point in creating an opening as that volatile at this stage. I think Vane is certainly the play. And if you are going to play down that, you play a 4-letter word, you don't leave a hook. Also bearing in mind his opponent changed and kept a couple of tiles, you may well infer there was an S in that. But now he's got Pav again. Is he going to play Pav? Wow. Okay, he creates a position for Bingo to go down.
And it'll be frustrating. considering he spent so long with blocking moves and then suddenly changed it to a non-blocking, which reveals the bonus. He's going to be annoyed about that.
Yeah.
He generally doesn't like it when his opponent bingos.
But it would be more than usually frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a tough break, but I think that was also a rare bad decision.
Yeah, obviously a sudden change of mind.
Yeah.
Oh, he was considering all the blocking moves. Or containing moves, I suppose, rather.
Maybe he thinks that again an open board favours him. Maybe he thinks he's in a stronger position.
I think he's got more of an advantage tactically than.
Yeah,
Boris
I know. I
was.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, David currently trails, so David has 1-2-2. Goutham now has 1-5-6. David has some good scoring potential, though. He has, Zenith is probably suicidal given the opportunity to play Zenith all. Goutham has picked a blank. Goutham has picked a blank. Wow. So David's going to play Dite or Knighted. Knighted. Just Knight. Keeping Z. And he's playing Knighted, which does leave Goutham with Indoxile at least. So David goes back into a 14-point lead by playing Knighted. So we know Goutham has Indoxile. Indoxile, in fact, is the only playable bingo.
Doesn't automatically spring to mind to make the blank an X.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it did for me.
He spotted an X.
Yeah, well, this is true. This is true.
So, yeah, if he doesn't see it, he may spend quite a while looking for something, or he may
going through the alphabet.
He may try,
until he gets to X.
David's picked a reasonably strong scoring rack. But yeah, other than Indoxile, it's. There are some key things that have happened on this board now. So you've got the big X position at B6, which Indoxile kills, ironically.
And there's not going to be much counterplay that there could be.
No.
Do you think the ED extension was a difficult decision? And will he be equally annoyed that that's given him another spot?
He's going to be annoyed. I don't know whether the ED extension was now to force it to try and get the blanks and the S's. He's probably of the mindset that as long as he gets the power tiles, he's going to win, regardless of how he gets them, to keep them away from his opponent. It looks like he's considering Noily for 24. Which is fine if you don't spot the bingo. I mean, it's a 17-point error in equity, but that's only if you know and spot the bingo.
But no, also the question is, where's he going to
Where's he play bingo? Well, he's created DR, the
Yeah.
DY position.
Mm-hmm.
something starting in E or N, I'll play under fur, or SE,
Mm-hmm.
or SN.
Dave's played Wiz immediately, by far the best play. All things being equal, it gives him just over a 50% chance of the win, but as we know at the moment, things are not equal. And he's just drawn out Lording, Gerlond. Oh, actually. Surely he's not failed to get bonus again. There is no playable bingo.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that these are the important moves. These are the telling moves, because it's very easy to pick easy bingos and make those kinds of decisions just where to play them. These are the moves that actually make a bigger difference. You need to keep scoring. You need to give yourself a good chance of getting a bingo. He's only 25 behind. But I think he's now beginning to wish that he'd played 4 instead of fur.
That one play has messed up the entire game in a fairly significant way, because the difference in hooks to develop the lower right quadrant are immense. It seems so, it seems like such a tiny error at the time.
Sometimes tiny errors tend to blow up.
But yeah, it turns out that the difference in board shaping is ginormous.
Actually, scoring opportunities now for Goutham very limited. Droyle at D1 is the best score by far, keeping GL blank. Next is B2, just playing Do.
Do and gone.
Do we have an update from the other game?
Let's see. Harshan started with GILQUWX.
Wow.
He exchanged 7, which is interesting because I might keep QU.
Did you say an I with that as well?
Yeah.
I keep QUI.
QUI.
Yeah.
Austin opened with Hefte, HEFTE for 30, and Harshan picked out AAEENU blank and then bingoed with Nauseate. So that's where the other game stands right now.
And Goutham is going back to the tile shuffling.
Yeah. This is exactly what we said he might do in this situation, which is spend a very long time looking for a non-existent bingo. Okay, so he's decided to play Eeyore. Aggressive opening play. It counts as a 40-point error in valuation, taking him from a win percentage of 51% with Droyle to 24% with Eeyore.
It doesn't sound right somehow. That sounds massively pessimistic.
That's a very the G and the D. Yes, there is the ING, but there seems to be a lot of potential for that rack to get messed up pretty easily.
Yeah, and I mean the difference in your opponent's score after Eoral versus playing interior is going to be pretty big, because now you're developing all kinds of new stuff that David otherwise wouldn't have had any access to.
David's got a great play of Panax here, perfect in every way, and it blocks Deviling.
Even Pax will do that, but obviously Panax is better.
Panax is better, but will he want to leave the plays across the top? I suppose, given what he did with Knighted, which was the extra turnover, maybe he'll want to play Panax.
He played Panada.
Okay.
So
Setting up the X.
Setting up the spot, setting up a setting up the X spot.
That's a great play. I mean, I've not simmed it.
So
Yeah.
at this point in the other semi-final decider, Harshan is at 111, Austin at 113 after 4 moves apiece.
Ooh.
So the other one is also on a knife's edge.
And David now has a really strong rack.
Yeah. He's got.
And the best play for Goutham looks like Vigia down to the A of Panada, which does nothing to get in the way of that position that Dave's created.
Will Goutham smell her out though?
Well,
you know, I mean,
you read in this situation that Dave has an S. I would
There's
suggest.
really not all that much that he can do also with his rack to kind of sniff that out. I mean, he can play Vigia in the lower scoring spot.
Yeah,
that would
but
probably be
why would
best,
you do
but why
that?
would you
'Cause
do that?
you're obviously
Exactly.
setting up.
And
He's 40 down. Let's not forget.
and that would probably give Dave back, even with just his rack. Cave is another 36, and probably other things. Cove,
Yeah.
whatever up there, he's going to be drowning even further.
So he's 40 down, and actually after Dave's bingo, he's going to need the bingo fairly quickly.
So Harshan's played a bonus. He played Doubted for 76. Austin's response was Eterio, starting next to the O in Doubted, heading down with a 6-tile overlap. And it's now 187 Harshan, 194 Austin.
That would be the second time that Austin's opponent has had Doubted today.
Yes.
This time he played
For
it.
this, yeah, the first time his opponent did not doubt it.
Mhm.
I think this is also the thing to bear in mind for anybody who's watching who's not a seasoned Scrabble player, is you can get very much into thinking about prefix, suffix and all this kind of stuff, and you spot the high probability words that you've studied. But actually you could miss everyday words like doubted because you don't actually put the B and the T together, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So I think there's a level of capability where you learn all the Scrabble words in inverted commas, and then actually you revert to spotting all the normal words as well.
So,
This is interesting. Is he going to play Vega?
I think he needs to get rid of the G and the I because I think it's hampering his prospects of bonusing.
Absolutely.
That's why it looks like he's thinking about Viga.
But where's he going to? I mean, would he? He
Well,
could
he
play
could
it
play
down
it-
onto the A of the second A, which would, if he's inferring an S, will be a natural thing to do to block that. But that doesn't mean that he can't. That David wouldn't then be able to start a bingo with an S.
Also,
And he will.
David's going to score with the X. He's got Oxic as
Yeah,
well.
Oxic would be, yeah.
So,
I mean, I think this is the point where you have to play to the strength of your rack and not. So
Yeah.
he's playing
so he's
Vega.
playing Viga.
I like that play actually.
That's, yeah. Says,
Oxic's going to go
Oxic's
down
immediate.
immediate. I think David had pretty much decided he was going to play that. If he blocks that, I'm playing that. So David currently has a 69-point lead with the ARE keep, and okay, so Goutham now is going to play a bonus.
His carbides, yeah.
Mhm.
It's all going to be really, I mean, if David picks a decent rack now, we're talking. So what's he going to play?
Not looking bad so far.
Calibird.
Mm.
Oh. Better.
Yeah, Calvert.
And David, oh, hello.
He
Wow.
is endeared of that rack.
Yes.
Yeah. He's going to be singing serenades all night. Okay, so Calibird. Calibird, the 95-point play. Serenade, the 72-point play, but does he play it? David's 26 points behind. He has Endears for 67, so 5 points fewer, but not leaving a massive opening. I think this is going to be probably the key exchange of moves of this game. If Goutham picks up a bonus now, he's going to be in the but he's picked up a really clunky set of tiles. David's going to take a 40-point lead with this next play. If he plays Serenade, then, well, he shouldn't play Serenade, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting if he plays Endears, then the question will be, does Goutham know the hooks for FERE?
Oh, I think I'm as nervous as the players.
Well, the tension is mounting.
Yeah.
And
Is there any reason he'd be considering playing Serenade here?
I don't know what good things can come of it.
yeah.
There's some really strong combinations out still.
Yeah.
2 S's unseen. J, Q.
Yeah, there goes Endears.
That's interesting. I was thinking about it underneath fear, but
Yeah.
so David takes a 41-point lead, currently leading 347 to 306. As I say, I think this is going to be the critical juncture now. It all depends on what David draws. Come on, David, show us. David is underdrawn.
He's going to call the director to ask what to do.
He's trying to go out first.
He's not going to play a bonus with that rack.
Goutham was counting before David had finished drawing, which might suggest a little bit of nerves. And he seems to have improved the tile draw for David. He's got Cintery, but
Yes.
Doesn't.
Serenity doesn't play.
Also doesn't play.
Tyrus.
Wow.
Also.
Oh, wow.
This is going to be an interesting one.
Nothing with the
Yeah.
A.
You could just play Nye and Patty for 30.
Yeah, that Y is a valuable tile here.
That's interesting. What's Goutham looking to what? He's got
And path. Maybe.
It's not a good play with what's well, he was looking at Hayen, I think, down the side of Calibad.
Yeah. But
Wow.
This is
this is
difficult for Goutham.
I was so distracted I haven't even bothered to put it into Quackle.
Oh, no center.
That's interesting. So just
He's liking cashing the H.
crunching this through. Yeah, Quackle does like cashing the H, but it likes not getting rid of the U in doing it. I guess because of the likelihood of getting the Q, but also plays ending in the D of Caliberd. And renature and things like that are easily drawable. It does give him only a 20% chance of winning with that.
Update in our other game, we have Harshan 336, Austin 234, and Austin is on turn.
Okay, he's played Hog.
Yes.
Which kills the Q threat. I mean, just on the off chance you get Cuddy. David's
David immediately plays
14-point lead, and the Nye play that I mentioned is simming top. Absolutely. So David Eldar is a Nye man. But this one's winning the game.
Well,
and
Goutham has picked the Q to go with the U. Ooh, and he has Quire for 70.
Yes, he has a huge Q play. Keeping EN.
But David has Register.
And,
Yes.
And then Register goes down. He has it 2 spots.
So we're expecting a 70-point play, which will leave 3 in the bag. Let's have a quick. Wow, this is.
So what happens? Yeah, what happens after Quire? Quire is down.
Okay. So Quire is actually not simming at the top. Quackle is suggesting that Quire has a 30% chance to win against a known rack of Register.
Probably because he's going to need, given that Register's going down, he's going to need another bingo. Something, wow.
And where's the bingo going to go?
Yeah, at this point, playing Quire down there is going to block where your bingo goes.
Oh wow!
There is still the
Unless
hooks
on. Oh,
that's going to be the killer, I think.
yeah.
Oh.
And David's got that's
Duetto or something.
that's not right.
Lectins would have been insane.
He must have fancied his chances before picking J.
Yeah.
You know what's unseen. Double T chance.
Yeah.
So Goutham has a 0% chance of winning. The game is over. As long as David now doesn't screw up. Does he have an out play? He's got out eat.
Yeah. It's not a J. Klein's doesn't turn into a J stick, does it? There's Ya over at A11, and Ya at no, not if you play Klein's. Klein's will block M13. Doesn't matter if out eat is there. Well, no, because Klein's will block out eat.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another out?
For the J.
I mean, for the
It's just
for
J.
David.
Oh no, I don't think so. But there's only one play for the. Oh no, JUN, isn't there? Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So that will create Jun.
That'll create Jun. So it's not a J
So
stick.
he'll be 5 up. No, 45. He'll be 1 point up. Then David plays 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, plays Tout, 17 up. And then Jun.
10 is the only place,
Yeah.
and you get 2 off the rack.
Yeah.
And you win by 5 or so.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, and Goutham is down on time.
Goutham's under a minute. David has 10 minutes on his clock.
So
Oh, man.
you figure that David is going to just take his time and figure this out if he hasn't already.
Yeah.
We could be here for some time, but I
Yeah.
think he absolutely should.
But yeah, between the first game of the day and the last game of the day,
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Eldar has been involved in some thrillers.
Yeah. It's amazing. Okay, yeah, he's playing Giles, which, it's
Which will lose to Audi.
They'll lose
possibly.
instantly to Audi, yeah. David, Audi goes down straight away. A very well deserved win. I think the toilets, Pav's controversy could have been his undoing, but well, what can we say? David drew well at the end.
Drew well enough.
Yeah. Is he retracking? Okay, David's tracking.
This is normally done during the game.
Or was he simply casting a spell? Avada Kedavra. And David has out-eaten Goutham Jayaraman to the tune of 466 to 428. Is that right? No.
Yes.
No. Whatever. David's won by 32 points.
Other game.
Let's see, I have a picture of the board here. And I'll have the score for you momentarily.
That's 5 on, so it should be 466 to 434, is that right? Yeah. The final score is 466 to 434 in David Eldar's favour, and you can tell what an emotional effect this has had on him.
The other match, Harshan is on 421, Austin on 285.
Wow.
So it looks like we will have a Eldar Harshan final tomorrow, barring some miraculous comeback.
Yeah, the scoring could get started really late.
Yeah, it does sound like the scoring has stopped for the time being.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, just looking back at this game, I think very, very strong play. The miss of Indoxile could have been the killer. And that
but that is a tough spot.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. But I think this shows how tiny variance in play FAUR and his bingos were going down. And the thing is, I think if your style is to play for bingos, then give yourself the chance of playing them.
Absolutely.
Particularly because there was no great advantage to keeping TAIL over TIL in that situation. But yeah, really interesting play there.
Yeah, and I mean, as David said this morning against Nigel, if you're an underdog, if you feel you're an underdog, you want to create a position where more things will play. So if you do get lucky and draw them, they'll go on the board. Yeah. And that early game where Goutham had the tiles but no spot on the board to put them was killer.
Yeah.
But we have to say, I mean, it's a great achievement for Goutham to get this far. It was not that long ago that he was competing in the youth championships. So it's great to see young players coming through and playing on the adult scene and getting as far as he has. I'm sure he's got a long way to go. And hey, we don't all play perfect Scrabble, so let's not focus too much on the errors. And it's great that we're bringing people together over the Scrabble board. And as I said earlier on, I think it's a well-deserved win from David Eldar, probably the most deserving of a world championship who has yet to win it. But let's see what happens. He still has to await the winner of the other match which we will go straight into. Tomorrow we will be coming back after we've all rested. Goutham, I think, just taking a moment to think it through. I mean, this is one of those games where it's not clear that he was going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it all suddenly went wrong. When you're playing Quare for 70, you think you're in a commanding position. And when you've turned over Klein's...
with that many tees unseen.
Yeah.